Hey, I'm your host, Jen Wheeler, and this is the Healthy Her podcast. I'm a teacher, author, and foodie who went from being addicted to sugar, skipping meals, and struggling to get in control of my eating, to someone who is 10 kilos down, eats all the yummy foods without restriction, and is finally in control of my hunger. I'm obsessed with helping other health-conscious women ditch the confusion and overwhelm so they can cultivate healthy eating habits and truly thrive. The Healthy Her podcast was created to give you real talk about healthy eating, as well as easy, actionable tips that fit seamlessly into your busy lifestyle. I'm not just your host. Think of me as your healthy eating hype gal, your personal cheerleader as we chat all things healthy eating, weight loss, and mindset mastery, so you can become the healthiest, happiest version of you. So if you're ready to ditch the guilt, reclaim your confidence, and unlock the very best version of you, then you're in the right place. So let's get started. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Healthy Her podcast. Thank you so much for joining me in today's podcast episode. I'm very excited for today's podcast episode because after our last sort of coaching Q&A style podcast episode that I did for you, I had so many DMs, lots of emails, loads of feedback that you loved these types of podcast episodes. So I'm thinking that I'm going to start adding them in a bit more regularly for you. So in today's podcast episode, I'm going to be answering some of the most requested, the most common, the most popular questions that I get asked and also that I see all over social media. And I'm going to be really honest with you. These questions are on repeat. It is the same questions, the same comments that come up over and over again by busy, overwhelmed, tired, stressed women that are sick of dieting, sick of not knowing what to eat, sick of not looking good, sick of not feeling their best. And when I go through and I'm looking and putting these questions together for you that I can answer like in a live sort of style coaching call Q&A type session, it really screams the same message to me that women have not been taught how to eat. It's the same message that I get when I'm reading all of these questions over and over again, because like I said, they're all very similar. They all have a very similar tone. And I want you to listen to today's podcast episode and know that you are a smart woman. You are. And that is something that I went through and that I realized on my own journey is that I'm actually a smart woman and that I can actually do this. It's just that I wasn't being taught the right things. I was being taught how to skip meals, how to cut carbs, don't eat bread after 5 o'clock, all these things that I was doing. And no one had actually taught me how to eat. No one had taught me the how of fat loss and how everything works and how it all fits together. Because that's the thing as women, you know what to do. You need to eat more protein. You know you need to exercise. You know you need to drink your water, but you don't quite know how it all has to fit together in order for you to experience the success that you want. And it's what these coaching call Q&A style podcast episodes are all about upskilling you, about giving you the knowledge, giving you the power so that you can take back your power, so that you don't have to feel overwhelmed, confused, like a failure all the time. And that my hope in answering these questions for you is that these then relate to you. There'll be a moment that's just like this, like just one of these questions, and you can sit back and go, oh, hang on a second. I remember what Jen said on the Healthy Her podcast. Okay, no, I don't need to do that. Or this is how I can respond differently. Or don't need to quit on myself because I remember her telling me about this experience with this other woman. So I hope that it gives you help in your real everyday today life so that you can start to take your power back, so that you can feel more confident about how and what you eat, and so that you can stop quitting on yourself every time you hit a road bump or every time you can't eat perfectly for that day. And these questions are a mix of ones that I get asked in my DMs, ones that get emailed to me, and also just comments or questions that I've seen on like Instagram or TikTok or on Threads, or it's just questions that I've also noticed and picked up on social media as well. So there's a bit of a mixed bag in there, but like I said, they're all common, really popular questions that come up over and over again. Let's jump into the first question. Now, these are all by women. So listen to this one. It's a bit of a longer one, but I think it will resonate with lots of you. Today, I ate pastries after 14 days without sugar and bread. I felt so ashamed. I kept blaming myself. Then I remembered one day doesn't erase 14 days. Tomorrow, I will come back stronger. This is not a fail. This is just a bump. But here's my question to you. Do you think I'm wrong? Should I have forced myself to stay strict if I really wanted this? Or do I learn from my mistake and try to avoid it for next time and just simply continue? There are so many issues that I can pinpoint straight away from reading this woman's comment. It all comes down to the fact that she believes, and it's not her fault, and that she has been taught that she can't eat a pastry, that she can't have a donut, a croissant, a iced finger bun, cinnamon scroll, whatever she is into, that she can't eat those things and still lose weight and have a healthy, balanced lifestyle, because she has been taught that in order to reach her goals that she needs to eat perfectly. And that is underpinning this comment. This is what her problem is, because if she understood her food, if she knew that instead of just going, I'm going to be healthy and I'm going to cut out this. So she said that she's going to cut out sugar and bread. So she's gone 14 days without sugar and bread. Now, I would just like to put my hand up and say that I would die if I didn't have any sugar or any bread for 14 days, because I like those things. And I'm sure that you do too. It all just comes down to the fact that she thinks that she needs to eat perfectly in order to get results, and she doesn't. And this is what happens when you learn how much you eat and where your calories are coming from. And that's what I teach inside the membership, because if she knew I eat this many calories, this is exactly what I need to eat to lose weight, she wouldn't worry about eating those things, because she would see that, oh, I can have a donut and it can actually fit into my whole day of eating and I'm not going to undo my progress. Knowledge for her is the missing piece, okay? She is trying to lose weight by cutting out the sugar and the bread. That's her weight loss method. And that does not need to be a weight loss method. So it's this thing that we do as women, that we try random things in the hope that it will work. Fat loss is a process. Fat loss is a science. Trying random things just keeps you stuck. And that's where she is right now. She's trying these things. She can't do it perfectly. She wants to have a pastry. And she's sworn to herself that, she's not going to eat any sugar and bread, because she's decided that sugar and bread are the bad things in her diet. And that if she cuts those things out, then she will automatically lose weight. And it won't work that way, because she could still be eating well over the calories that she needs in order to lose weight. And this is where knowledge is power. And this is why I deeply struggle with reading all these comments and seeing all these things online, because I was her. And even it just gets me emotional thinking about it, because I was her. Like, for so long, I would just walk around feeling lost and confused and trying random things and just crossing my fingers and hoping that it would work. And when I realized there's actually a process to this, and if I do it this way, it will actually work for me, I stopped doing this stuff. But like I said, that's why I really, really struggle, because I feel deeply for her, and I feel, how she feels now. She's undone all her progress, and she tried really hard, and she did. She cut out sugar, she cut out bread. She did it for 14 days solid. And like I said, I can tell you right now that that's way longer than I could have done, but she's just missing that knowledge piece. And like I said, I just really struggle to read some of these comments, because I was her. I don't know what it feels like. And I literally just want to reach out to this person and say, you know what, there's actually another way, and it does actually work when you follow the process of fat loss and do it the right way. So just a reminder, you don't have to cut out bread. You don't have to cut out sugar. You can enjoy a pastry, whatever your favorite pastry in the whole wide world is. You can have those. You can incorporate them into your diet. You don't have to restrict in order to get results. This next one, the temptation to write a response, because honestly, I could literally just spend my entire days on the internet, on social media, replying to women's comments about weight loss and wellness and exercise and healthy eating, and I wouldn't get any other work done. And honestly, the temptation to respond to this was great. But I did refrain myself. But again, it's another little bit of a long one, so I'll just read this one out for you. So I'm wanting to lose 30 kilos and I'm struggling. I need advice and tips. And not ones like calorie deficit or exercise more. I want proper tips. what foods are good to make, what healthy snacks might be good when I'm needing a little snack in the middle of the day, what drinks are good because I struggle with drinking water, what exercises would be good for me because I struggle to do too much because I have a bad knee and foot. The first part of this really got me going because, so she said, I'm wanting to lose 30 kilos and I'm struggling. I need advice and tips, and not ones like calorie deficit. I'm inserting a pause here because I was actually shocked because the calorie deficit works. It's proven. It's science. It works. And I don't know why. I guess I do know why, but I don't know why. But I think because I think why as women do we fight this for the longest time? Like, why do we actually push and spend so many years fighting against the things that will actually work? So she says, not ones like calorie deficits. Don't tell me that that's what I need to do. Why not? Because it works. It's actually what works. And that's what we do to ourselves as women is we avoid doing the stuff that works. So we go back to the first question. We eat bread, we keep sugar, we skip meals, we go hungry, we save calories. It's like I'll eat less during the day and that'll give me more calories that I can eat at nighttime. We do all these weird, crazy things instead of the stuff that works. And if this woman started on a calorie deficit and knew what she was eating, knew where her calories coming from, she would start to lose weight. Like, it's that simple. She would slowly and steadily start to drop 30 kilos of extra weight that she's carrying. And there's proof. There's proof inside the membership. We have got one member and she has got a big weight loss goal that she wants to achieve. And she's lost around 16 kilos already. And that's from her calorie deficit. It's from showing up, not doing it perfectly, and from doing a calorie deficit. So, if this is you and you are constantly jumping on trying all of these random things instead of actually doing what works, stop it, because you're just delaying your success, basically. And I did this too. You're just delaying your win. You're delaying feeling confident. You're delaying looking good. You're delaying feeling good because you've somehow convinced yourself that trying these random things and cutting out this stuff is going to work and it's going to equal weight loss. It is not. Now, I feel like I have to respond to this question in two parts. So the first part was about the calorie deficit. The second part, I truly do believe she has a point and she has some merit because she says, what foods are good to make? What healthy snacks might be good when I'm needing a little snack in the middle of the day? What drinks can I have to help me drink more water? I think those valid questions. And these are the questions that I answer inside the Healthy Eating Hypergal membership because that is the support that you need as a busy woman. You need to know those things, but we get stuck between this stuff that she's talking about that's actually going to work, giving her, say, for example, maybe telling her to buy herself some like diet cordials to add to her water or perhaps some protein water so it's got some flavor in it to help her drink more water and to become more comfortable with drinking water. That's the tips that she needs. But instead, we focus on I'm not going to do a calorie deficit. I'm going to skip some meals. I'm going to cut this out. I'm not going to do this. Instead of making those changes in her daily life, it's actually going to work. So she's partially on the right track. But like I said, also so many of us just avoiding doing the stuff that works. And if you can take away one thing from today's podcast episode is stop Googling, stop trying random things and start learning about how much you eat, create a calorie deficit for weight loss, and show up consistently. Like I said, fat loss is a science. It's not something that you do randomly. You need to know what you eat. And so this is why, the membership is so uniquely and so carefully set up because when the women join, within 7 days, they can see exactly where they've been going wrong. They do a diet audit and I show them how to do this so that at the end of the 7 days, they get to sit back and go, oh, okay, I get it now. I'm overeating here. I'm not eating enough of this here. I need to add more of this in here. And it's all there in front of you. There's no more guessing. There's no more Googling. There's no more, what should I be eating or what should I cut out? It's all there for you. So would definitely be encouraging her to work out her numbers, to do a calorie deficit. And like I said, then to start, maybe trying her diet cordials and her protein water and things so she can start drinking a lot more water. Okay, next question. And I really love this one because it actually sort of links in perfectly with the previous question. So this is the question. I wonder if it's possible to attain the body I want without turning into a person that tracks everything they eat and weigh their food out. That would suck the life out of me. I keep a rough idea of what I eat, but I'm not logging it. Again, I just need a moment. I just need a moment because I was that person. So I feel for her. And in this comment and this sort of question, what I take from this is that she believes that if you track your food and if you weigh your food, that there is somehow something wrong with you and that you are obsessive and unhealthy. I'm going to flip the switch on this one. What if I could say to her, what if you track your food and you weigh your food for a month and you make more progress than you have done with she talks about attaining a body that she wants. If you could make more progress in a month just by doing those changes, would you do it? I'm pretty sure I can hear you saying yes. Yes, I would. Yes, I would do that. Yes, I would change that. Because it's that simple. We're avoiding, it's the same underlying issue. We are avoiding doing the things that we need to do in order to make progress. Something that women get very wrong about tracking calories and like weighing out your food and those kind of things is that we believe that it's obsessive and it's unhealthy and that it's something that you have to do for the rest of your life. It is not. It is just a tool that you use to support you while you are learning to better your health, to eat better, and to lose weight. That's it. I don't track my food anymore. I don't track my calories. But you need that as a knowledge base because what actually happens is this. You track your food, you weigh your food for a while, and what actually happens is you're building your knowledge base. So if she did that, like I said, after a month, she would make more progress in 1 month than she has in the last 10 years simply by making that change. Because what happens over time is when you understand how much food you eat and what a serving size looks like, some portion sizes, it's in your brain. It's a skill now. So what that means is that I now no longer have to track my food because of this. Because I now know from tracking and weighing my food previously, I now know that when I look at a piece of chicken, roughly how much 100 grams of protein is. I know roughly what a serving size of vegetables should be. I know roughly when I go to the pantry and I want a packet of chips, roughly how much is in that calories in that bowl that I'm eating. And that's how I am able to maintain my weight and also maintain a healthy, balanced lifestyle because I have that skill and because I have that knowledge base. I don't need the support of a tracking app and the scales anymore because it's in my head, it's in my brain. I've built that up. Okay? And that's the issue with this. It's not obsessive. It doesn't make you weird or crazy and again, it is something that has come about because of social media, because people put posts up and things and then someone comments that, oh my gosh, you're weighing your food or you're tracking your calories. Like, why would you do that? I'll tell you something. When you go on a health and weight loss journey, people will question you. People will say, what are you eating that for? And I experienced this. What are you eating that for? Like, why are you not having that? Or why are you having that instead? And then when you start to succeed, they'll want to know what you did and how you did to get there. People will always question you when you do something different or you show up in a different way. And it's because they want to be able to be doing those things too. So my advice for this woman would be if she wants to attain her physique and this body that she wants, to track her calories, to work out what she eats, to create a calorie deficit so she can start experiencing success. And it wouldn't suck the life out of you. It would be like anything. You just learn it. You figure it out. It's not that hard. You just learn it. You get into the routine of doing it and you just pick it up. Like I said, you're a smart woman and you can do this. It's just that we're focusing on all of the wrong things. Okay, next question. So this is a bit of a change of pace from the last two that we've had. How can I burn belly fat fast? This is serious. I can't fit my outfits anymore.
Jen, I honestly cannot thank you enough. Your podcast, The Healthy Her, has done so much for me. And for the first time in my whole life, I feel like I have a healthy relationship with food and exercise. I've always been a binge eater. Then I'd swing the other way and become really restrictive to punish myself. But now I finally realise I can have everything just within reason. There was one episode that really changed everything for me when you shared about your son being in hospital and how the food you were eating made you feel. That was my aha moment. It made me realise how horrible my body feels when I'm not fueling it properly. In such a short time, you've helped me shift so much. I see food and my habits completely different now. I've already told so many people about your podcast and the impact it's had on me. So truly, thank you, Natalie.
All right, let's break this down for her. You can't burn any fat fast. Sorry. And I know that's not what you want to hear, but it's the truth, and more women need to hear that. You can't burn fat fast. Fat does not burn fast. It just doesn't. Fat loss is a slow process. And honestly, if I could tell you one thing, and I've said this for a couple of years now, when people ask me, I will say to them, they're like, because I do podcast interviews and I've done media, and I'll get asked this question. It's probably one of the most common questions that I get asked. And it's, if you could give one piece of advice to women, what would it be? And it would be that fat loss is a slow process. It's just that no one's told you that. Because if you started to understand that fat loss is a slow process, you would stop beating yourself up every time you didn't lose a kilo a week. Fat loss is a slow process. Okay, so she's not going to burn belly fat fast. The other problem with what she has written here is that you can't spot reduced fat. So even if she works out what she eats, she creates a calorie deficit, she starts to experience some success, she can't pick where the weight will come from. She can't pick where the fat will come from her body on. She will eventually lose it off her belly and around her stomach if that is her area of concern, but she can't pick when that happens or how quickly it happens. Okay, it's your body. Your body gets to say over that about where you lose the fat first and where you lose the fat fast. And in my personal experience, and I have this theory about this, but in my personal experience, for me, it was my legs and my thighs. That was the part of my body that I just wanted to shift the most. And guess what? It was the very last place to budge when I was on a weight loss journey. The very last place to budge. And my theory on this is I believe that, I don't know, it's like a test. It's like do you really want this? Because I'm going to make you wait right until the very end to start shifting the fat off the body, off the parts of your body that you want. I don't know if it's a test. It's like, hey girl, do you really want this? Can you just work a little bit harder to get this off? And that's just what I found. It's often the areas that you want to change the most that can be the most stubborn to shift, and they tend to shift last, whether it's your belly, it might be your arms, it might be your legs, whatever your problem area is. It generally, in my experience, I've found it's often the last part of your body to shift that fat. So again, this poor woman is just going to stay stuck because she's expecting to do it fast, for it to happen quickly and for it to come off her stomach. It's not going to happen that way. Fat loss takes time. And also, like I said, you can't spot reduce fat. So you can't choose, oh, but I just want to lose the fat off my arms. You can't. You will lose it off everywhere. And like I said, it's often the place that you want the most is the place that comes off last. Next question. I feel like I'm going to have an emotional breakdown. Trying to eat healthy consistently. I enjoy the fries, the pasta, the burgers, the fried chicken, the fried rice, the mac and cheese, the KFC chicken. I am going through it. Again, I really feel for her because she thinks that she has to eat perfectly to succeed, and it's purely because she doesn't know what she eats and she doesn't know how to create a calorie deficit for her success. That's it. This woman, smart. I can tell you, hand on heart, I know that she's a smart woman. She's just focusing on all of the wrong things, and that's it. If she did start working out what she eats and looking at her calories and doing it the way that fat loss works, she would experience success. It may not be as fast as what she wants, but she will experience success. And it's this misconception that you have to restrict your food and that you have to eat less and that you have to cut out the foods that you love in order to achieve success. And I did a TikTok video on this a little while ago, and it was me eating some takeaway that I'd ordered. And I was basically explaining in this video how I can eat that takeaway and I don't have this problem like this person, this question, I don't have an emotional breakdown every time I have chips and a burger and I get a takeaway at home, because I have that knowledge about the food I eat, because I know roughly what calories are in it. I know roughly what I've eaten for the rest of the day. I know roughly how that fits into it's such a small part of my entire week. And that's where knowledge is power. So the more that you know about the food that you eat, the more guilt-free you get to eat. But you have to build that knowledge first. The old me would have been just like her. I would have had no time. So I would have got a burger and chips and then felt guilty the whole time. Again, having that emotional breakdown because I just want to eat the burger and the chips and I'd be feeling really guilty about all the fat and calories in it. Now I eat guilt-free. And I just genuinely want that for her too. I want her to be able to eat her burger, her pasta, her KFC, her fries, and enjoy it guilt-free. And you can do that when you start doing things the right way and stop trying random things. I cannot stress this enough. You do not need to eat perfectly in order to get results. Perfection is what's killing your consistency because you keep trying to do it perfectly. You don't have to do it perfectly. You can still eat all the food you love, obviously in moderation. You just fit them into your calories and away you go. And you get to eat guilt-free. You stop the emotional breakdowns. You stop feeling guilty. So there is another way, but you have to start being prepared to shift into this new way of thinking and break free from that old thinking that you have, that you need to skip meals, you need to cut bread, you need to cut sugar, all of these things that all of these women in these questions have said, you don't need to do those things. All right, next question. I think I've got 2 more left for you. My calorie counting girlies, how many calories are you all eating a day? This question is very, very important because we think, and again, I'm just blaming social media for this one, we think that there is a certain amount of calories that you should be eating in order to have success. False. It is so wrong. So if and when, obviously not now, but then when I was trying to lose 10 kilos, the calories that I am on, if I was to lose 10 kilos, compared to the calories that you would be on if you wanted to lose 10 kilos would be different. That's the truth. Because we are different heights, different ages, we weigh different amounts. It's all different. And the sooner that you can start to understand and get your head around the fact that the needs that you have are unique to you, all right? So you saving someone's day on a plate, you copying someone's day on a plate, so there's comments in there about some woman's commented saying, oh, I eat 1,200 calories a day. So if she then reads that and comment and then goes, okay, I'm going to eat 1,200 calories a day because that's what's working for someone else, it's not going to work. She needs to know what she eats. She needs to know what her calories are, and her calorie deficit is unique to her. All right. And that's why when you try random things on the internet and you save different things and they don't work for you, that's why, because it's not right for you. It's not the fit for you. And everyone loses weight on different amounts of calories, okay? We've got women inside the membership that are eating 2,300 calories a week and still dropping weight. We've got other women that are on 1,700 calories and losing weight. Everyone has a different caloric requirement that they need in order to lose weight. And if you understand this, you stop pushing against it, you stop fighting, and you stop, like I said, saving days on a plate, trying random things, copying someone else's amount of calories, because you're literally wasting your time. It's a waste of your time, your effort, and your emotional energy following the calories that someone else is eating, because it's not going to work for you, because they're not right for you. So I would definitely suggest to her that she focuses on herself, work out what she is actually eating, and then she can experience some success from there. All right, last question that I have for you today. I need all the protein hacks you have. I genuinely can't figure out how to eat enough of it in a day, and I'm trying to have at least 140 grams of protein. You don't need to eat such high amounts of protein in order to achieve success. And I just want to talk to you a little bit about my journey and my experience with going from having, say, no protein in my diet. I was absolutely terrible, to now eating a good amount of protein every day. It's a change, because I'll give you the example. So for me, I would make a chicken and salad sandwich. Okay, let's say I would have that for lunch and I'm like, okay, I'm eating healthy. In my chicken and salad sandwich, I might have had 2 tiny bits of chicken. Now that I have the knowledge and the understanding about food, I understand that there was probably about, I don't know, maybe 15 or 20 grams of protein in that chicken, in that sandwich. whereas I should have been having a lot more than that. Okay. I should have been eating sort of 80 or 100 grams of protein with my lunch in order to keep me full. And so when you start to make that shift from where you've just eaten no protein to more protein, it feels like a lot. It does, because you're like, isn't this a lot? And again, it's back to that mindset, that food mindset that we have that's like, less I eat, the skinnier I'll get. It doesn't work that way. And so it is a bit of a mindset shift when you go from having no protein to starting to eat more protein, because your brain is going, oh, this is a lot of food. Won't this make me gain weight? And it won't. Increase your protein, especially at your 3 main meals, will stop you from snacking. It will stop you from feeling hungry. It will stop your sugar cravings. Eating more protein is a game changer for women, and majority of women I work with do not eat enough protein. So that's why she feels a bit like, I can't figure this out. Like, how do you do it? It's just an adjustment. It's just a change. Like I said, and it's purely because that old food mindset is popping up for her that's going, oh, now this looks like a lot of food. And if I eat too much, then it's going to make me gain weight. And it's not. So you have to push past that old food mindset. Simple ways to increase your protein: a scoop of protein powder. Boom. There's another 20, 25 grams of protein for you. Add it to your oats. Add it to your pancake bowls in the morning. Have a protein smoothie. You can really, really quickly and easily add in more protein. But like I said, a lot of it just comes from increasing the quantity that you would already have in a meal. For example, another example is at dinner time when you're having a bowl of pasta. So you've made yourself a creamy carbonara or a spaghetti bolognese, and usually, again, this is me too, the old version of me would have a lot more pasta. Now that I understand this, a lot more pasta compared to the meat or the protein. So now I make sure that I have extra chicken in my chicken carbonara, or that there's lean beef mince in my spaghetti bolognese. And I make sure when I'm serving that up that I have a good proportion of protein compared to the pasta. Whereas a lot of the times you can be eating a big bowl of pasta and there's hardly any meat in it. There's hardly any protein. There's hardly any chicken. There's hardly any lean beef mince. So you basically end up just eating a whole bowl of carbs and not much else. And that is why you feel hungry afterwards, or sluggish, or bloated. Okay. It's just because the meal wasn't balanced and you didn't have enough protein. So like I said, it is a bit of it's just getting used to it. And it's getting used to increasing the protein at your 3 main meals and blocking that inner skinny girl that's going, oh, don't eat that. That's too much. Or isn't that too much food? Because I get that question a lot. It'd be like in the meals in the membership, and it's, oh, but isn't that a lot of food? No, it's not. It's actually not. It's just that we've been taught that you eat less, you get skinny, and it doesn't work that way. And it doesn't mean you have to eat like a bodybuilder. You just need to eat properly. You need to eat balanced meals. Like I said, with the pasta example, your meals need to be more balanced, because food is the answer to so many of your problems. And I know that you probably find that hard to hear, but it's the truth. Learning to eat properly and learning to eat more balanced meals is going to solve so many problems that you experience with food. The late night snacking, the overeating, the sugar cravings, the mindless snacking, the stopping at the 7-Eleven on the way to work because you're starving hungry. Eating properly and eating enough protein at your meals is going to solve so many of your problems. I hope that you loved today's podcast episode. If you want me to continue doing these, send me a DM, send me a message, let me know. Also too, if you've got a question that you'd like to have answered on our next Q&A session, let me know, because I'm happy to answer it. And just a heartfelt message from me to you and to all of these women that I've responded to their questions today. I see you. I feel you. You're a smart woman and you can do this, and you don't have to keep focusing on all the wrong things. There is another way. You just have to start to shift your thinking into a different way, and you will start experiencing success, because you don't have to feel overwhelmed, confused, and like a failure for a single day longer. There is another way around this. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you've got lots of things from this episode that you can actually take into your real life. I'm sure that so many of these moments that you can relate to too. And like I said, just think back to these moments, think of this conversation, think of the podcast and go, hang on a second, you know what? I'm going to do things differently this time. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you all in our next podcast episode of The Healthy Her. Thank you so much for tuning in to another empowering episode of the Healthy Her podcast. If you enjoyed today's chat and found it helpful, hitting that follow or subscribe button would be amazing, because your support means the world to me. Come connect with me on Instagram @theactivebod for your daily dose of inspiration and for loads of new easy meal ideas. Take care and keep thriving. See you next week.